Welcome, welcome. We are here today to introduce you to one of our speakers that's going to be joining us at the conference coming up at the end of September. This is Jeanne Harold, and she is going to be teaching a couple of classes for us.
Yes, she is. And I am so excited about that because when I look at Zoneologist, Jeanne is my model of what to do and what to know and what to learn some more of. I've known Jeanne for over 30 years, which is about the same amount of time I've known about the foot zone. So, yep, I'm looking forward to it. I hope I get to attend her class on fatty liver. And
yeah, the first one she's teaching is on the fatty liver and keeping the liver healthy. So tell us a little bit about your class.
I kind of picked the liver. Larry gave me a couple of options, and thank you, by the way, for not only being here, but for inviting me in. I look forward to visiting with people and sharing information. I think it's highly important, and the liver is like one of the most important organs that we have. So yeah, I choose that because it's probably the first priority that I address in anybody's body, no matter what is going on. I can tell you from my perspective that if you're dealing with eye health or skin health, if you're dealing with issues of weight, or if you're or hormone imbalance or blood sugar issues, you can't really hardly address those without cleaning up a liver, especially a fatty liver. It's going to keep it from bringing the body into homeostasis if it's fatty or if it's overloaded. And there's many reasons for that overload, but oftentimes it really is a fatty liver. Right. And sometimes it's just not working well. It can be overloaded with other things as well. And I do go through different protocols that I use being a healthcare practitioner for standard process. I use a lot of those things because they're very specific, and I want to go in and see if I cannot address that in phases. So I'm careful with the way that I do that. Some just need support. If you're dealing with problems, even with adrenals or being tired, that can also be related to your liver. Yep. So if you want a happy, healthy life, you're probably going to want to address issues with the liver. The liver is a sponge for all toxins. It has over 30 different over 100 different functions or 500 different functions in the body that relate to every organ that you have. So whatever's happening, it's going to be dumped there. And people always say, well, it's a self-detoxifying organ. That would be lovely if it were true, but oftentimes it gets overloaded and very toxic and does not move, does not shift. And we are, we like to think that we are what we eat, but we're truly not. We are only what we absorb. And a great deal of that deals with that liver as well. So to me, it's like the very first organ of anything that I'm going to address, especially for nutrition uptake.
I was surprised in my early research how many functions the liver has. And it was exactly like you just did. It has 50, it has 100. No, it has 500.
I'm going into hormones now.
And I think that this class is going to be very beneficial to zoners, but it's also going to be beneficial to just anyone who wants to get healthy, and the liver is a great place to start. But the second class that Jeanne is teaching for us is actually rules and regulations for foot zonists. And that one is pretty geared towards the foot zone community. This is a continuing education conference, but it is a little bit geared to foot zones. If you make it to the conference and you're not a zoner, you definitely want to be in on her fatty liver class. If you're a zoner, you definitely want to be into her rules and regulations class.
But what I want to hear about rules and regulations is the time that because she's so experienced, she violated the rule and did some good.
Yeah, there are some rules that started out. I trained with Dr. Charles Erstal. I was one of the first handful of people who had that opportunity for 3 years before he passed away. And then with Katrin Nordblom for almost probably 15 years. And so I feel really blessed to have been given some eye-opening guidelines that will help not only protect you as a zonologist, but those that you're going to work on. And I understand that there are different degrees of zonology or foot zoning. I don't really call the school that we started foot zoning. I removed that because it became very different on different levels. So I still think the guidelines pertain, no matter whether you're doing an energy zone or I don't care which school you trained with, they're going to be a benefit for people. But I would maintain that guidelines really are going to protect you, especially with state regulations. So there are some things that I have found that you can work on. Once in a while, there's some things that I would never work on. If you're going to do that, that's not true. I can't say never, because I've zoned them once or I've zoned them twice, but I wait a year in between. So depending on what those issues are, if you want me to go into a little bit of that, I certainly can. But if you want to tell the, and I will really try to bring information for you and a PowerPoint and some things that we can hand out if you'd like for people, or send them to you and you guys can copy them off for them, that they might have, a record of that they can use.
What I'd like to see happen is that as I've worked with different zone schools or graduates from different zone schools, some have added some rules that are pretty silly. And
yeah,
absolutely.
Yes, they have. And that are incorrect. Right.
In the class, is there a time period where people will be able to ask their questions?
Of course.
Yes, that is the hope. In fact, Lorraine and I were kind of discussing that, of maybe even reaching out to those that you invite and say, if you have some questions, you're welcome to send them in and you guys can send them to me. And I'm happy to try to answer whatever ones that I can that are important, or whatever way you choose. I'm happy to do that. Absolutely. In fact, that class might be about rules and regulations, but after, I'd really love to leave that Q&A open to that. They can ask whatever they like, and I'll answer to the best of my ability.
Yeah, there's always, I don't know.
But I don't know. I'll go and find out, depending on what that question is. But yeah.
Well, and if they can send them in ahead of time, that's going to eliminate the ones that you can't answer because you were unprepared for that question.
Sure.
So that's good. I hope that people understand what a huge opportunity this is to come and get their questions answered, and to spend 3 days learning about Foot Zone and learning about the body and learning about how to get healthy. And it's going to be an absolutely amazing conference, and we're really glad you're going to be part of it.
It will surprise me if some people don't attend our class twice.
That's true.
Thank you for the opportunity. And really, I think that there is a somewhat of an answer to almost any question that somebody is going to ask. There's probably not very many things that I haven't worked on. Probably over a million people in those years from America and from other countries. So I might have something that might support you or to help you to figure something out. So
and we start doing stuff like this, and you get a community of people together, and it's surprising who shows up to the class that has somebody else's answer. Just the way that works.
I agree. One of these beautiful people that are coming will have answers for, I guess, everybody and what they maybe would ask. So for sure.
This type of thing.
We realize that you're really busy, and we appreciate you taking.
I really do appreciate coming. I do. I love to, like I said, increase people's information and offer things that might be available to them that can help them as well. So
that's awesome.
Thank you.
We'll see you in a month. We appreciate it.
I'll be there. Thank you so much. Love you both.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And we're not recording.